Hey there, folks, and welcome to a very special day, as it's November 28th, and you know what that means? Today is my birthday, because as of whenever it hits November 21st to 28th, Sarah calls for you. Because you not only get a cake to basically look at, you also get a free car, too, so make sure to check Gran Turismo 7 in case you want a free car, either way, too. Now the free car, I don't know what it can exactly be. I assume just only car that comes from the main store. So otherwise, I'd be surprised to get something from used or legacy for that matter. But here's the car I basically got for this birthday at the end of the day, which is the Toyota SFR Racing Concept, which is hilarious. When I just recently did the Toyota Sports 800, the car that this car is based off of, to say. So, very funny in regards. So, you know what to do when we get a birthday car. Let's go race it, shall we? And not just race it on any Gran Turismo 7, let's race it on the PlayStation 5 Gran Turismo 7. Yeah, I finally turned around and got the PlayStation 5 Gran Turismo 7. Because I wasn't forced because of some add-on in the future called the Power Pack. No, what are you making that? But I would also say, since I got the PlayStation 5 version, I get to try out the GT7 mode I've been hearing so much about. And I gotta say, I don't know what to really say at the end of the day. It's almost like, it is a bit humanized, I'll give it that. It's a bit like artificial humanized, but at the end of the day, though, it's a bit of a rubber band battle too, I will say, because yeah, rubber band still plays in the fact of this at the end of the day, so it's not very fun dealing with the opponent when he's just driving at low speeds and then driving up to high speeds. You're going to be seeing that in the future here, but overall, the GT Sophie mode's not a bad mode at the end of the day and such, I gotta say. So yeah, today is November 28th, which would be my birthday as I hit 32 in terms of age, from 1993 to 2025 here, so yeah. 32 years old. I feel a bit old. It's a bit tad old. In terms of things I did this year, at least it's sort of advancement. Well, until the gallbladder incident, where I lost my gallbladder in the process as of January, and probably I would say mostly just January. Mostly January I was in the hospital because of gallbladder. Luckily that is sorted and stuff, so nothing bad about that. In terms of life advancements, which is very hard to say because I'm usually a factual person, I'm not really a humanized person. I don't really... It's kind of hard for me to not be serious when it's always my sheen thing to be serious at the end of the day, you know? Kind of just tough to do at the end of the day, but to say though, it is a bit more advanced than I was last year. Last year, let's see, what's the best way to say about last year? Last year was like just the start of work in progress, if anything, to be honest, and such. But as of now, though, I'd say I got a bit more creativity, and considering I'm now making thumbnails for some videos, I need to turn around to tell you it's pretty 100 that fact, which I'll probably do in that shortly, I will say, after this video here. But to say though, it does feel good that I am getting better at my hobbies and stuff at the end of the day, and getting a little bit more organized at the end of the day and such, instead of just being a, I don't know, boring bot clown of sort, so to say. Just having my own way of fun of things and such. Like, I've been debating if I wanted to still continue on weeklies anymore, because I don't know if I really want to keep doing it, because I will say what's going to replace that, just a nerd tryouts. That way just do two tryouts and just have fun with it at the end of the day. But yeah, that's what I've all been thinking and such. I know there's going to be like a very big step in the future, I will say, but that is going to take a good while to even achieve that at this point, I must say. Yeah, I do have a super future goal to achieve in life, but for now, I know I need to hold back for time being. I need to hold back or make an advancement to even achieve that, to say. But let's just say I just have an inner goal in mind in terms of life. Besides the hobby I chose and stuff, I'm still going to keep to the whole 3 videos at the end of the day. It's kind of weird because it sounds like a New Year's resolution, but I mean, what can you do? What are you going to say for your birthday, to be honest? You know? It's like, oh, yay for me, yay! You give me cake, you give me cake, you give me present, you give me present! So it's like, no, we're not going to be like that. Instead, I am basically going to be doing this race here. Which, yeah, this race is GT Sophie, so it's GT Sophie controlling these grade 4s, which it's kind of weird. It's like on one end, yeah, they are technically tougher because they will try to tackle on you on turns and stuff, as you'll see every now and then on me. It's like, oh wow, they know how to dive. It's like, oh crap. Man, I wonder how bad that pisses off professional drivers, because they already hate that already. When people do that and stuff, but there is a method at the end that you don't realize that's your own fault. I realized that. But say, I'm sorry, just racing is racing, and if they don't count illegal, then it's not illegal to do. Is it a beginner move? Probably, but it's one of the advantage moves they have in order to achieve the cut at the end of it. And believe me, I gotten cut so many times, so I already feel my pain about it. So, but yeah, overall, doing a grade 4 race. I tried to, minimize the copies of cars having the same, but at the end of the day, I'm just stuck with one of them having 2 or one of them having another 2 and such. So, not a fun hassle to deal with. But to say about the SFR racing concept, though, that car was. I'm not sure what it was really made of mine. I just know it was just shown at the auto salon at the end of the day. It doesn't even have a cabin inside, so you can't even see the inside of the car, sadly. That's the only bummer part about this car. Otherwise, I do like this car at the end of the day. SFR is kind of a neat concept. And, yeah, looks better than the Sports 800 at the end of the day. It's a bit nice. Considering what the Toyota Sports 800 used to look like back then. Yeah, definitely a massive improvement. They're even surprised they kept the round lights, but round lights curved just right with the body at the end of the day. Yeah, just using this to try to beat the grade 4 cars at the end of the day. I will say it's in the highest build I could achieve it, which is the 350 kilometers per hour or 217 miles per hour build of the Toyota SFR racing concept. Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be confused about that, but I should realize that yeah, the S means sports. The FR I believe is just front rear. But yeah, that's why it's called that. I think. I believe that's the reason why it's called that. Otherwise, it wouldn't really make much sense at the end of the day. So yeah, I will say, as the saying goes, if you get closer to the front guy, they start getting quicker. Except up there in the straights and stuff, because at least that's the little advantage I have. I will say I also ate like Thanksgiving dinner, so I'm gonna be a little bit hiccuping. I won't know. We'll know in advance. That's how it is. Yeah, if there's one big super punt to be worried of, it's the Megane Trophy right behind me, because you want to know what's one of the most broken grade 4 cars? It's that one. The Megane Trophy is one of the utter broken grade 4 cars I can think of. Besides the 155 foreign car. That thing, this car is also pretty crazy in mine too, I will say. So it's an MR, and, well, it's true to the roots of Renault, which is making it FR, but the difference is it's a, I don't know if I want to say a track car, but it kind of is. It's like a club racing car, trophy car, or trophy racing at the end of the day. Yeah. And then we had the Corvette C7, but he's kind of sort of the opponent, sort of not. Like initially he's going to be, but later on you'll realize he'll just slump in the back, because the biggest problem about the Corvette C7 is its fuel usage. Fuel usage is pretty high. For the most part. Which, yeah, you would think the SFR racing concept would have that same problem, because let's say I didn't lean it at all. Is that full potential? And even at full potential, these AI Sophies, they will stick with you at the end of the day. I don't know if I should feel bad or feel ashamed that this car had trouble against us at the end of it. I will say, if I had to say where the SFR kind of stands in terms of racing in this, I would say in the middle ground, because in some cases it's faster, but in other cases it's kind of not because of the fuel cuttage and other whatnot. Even though it's also a racing car too. It's a racing concept car. It's just not a very, I want to say a fast car, so. Well, I would say it is a fast car, but it's not like a good fast car, to say. It's very odd, because I will say the front lip and the spoiler are fixed, so you can't really do much there in that part, so if you don't like the turn of the car, you're kind of just stuck with it, which is not the greatest thing, and considering how much it costs. I think that the SFR costs like $500,000 if I recall. So yeah, not a very cheap car at the end of the day. But I will say it was better than last year's birthday gift, which was the Zagato GT2. And that's a maybe, I will say, couldn't think of it just a little bit. Like, in some ways I would think it would be, but there might be a case it might not. But I don't know. I assume not. I assume the SFR is a bit better on that part to say. Yeah, I've got two Genesis too, I will say, besides the whatever that one was called. Dang it, my brain's shortened. You get the Mercedes Superjet Sports AMG. But yeah, that's an old grade 4, I will say. But yeah, I will say the cool part about the customers, it does bring out some of the old grade 4 cars. Because I did have the Citroen in the process, but I had to change it because I forgot to turn on the time thing. Cause yeah, I will say the daylight is changing over time. Eventually here. And then we got another Corvette C7 here. Such. But yeah, sadly, like 3 of the opponents got dupes. So, yeah, you got the C7, you had the... What the heck is his name? The Mazda... I mean, it's not Channel G list, it's because that got replaced by the Mazda 6, I believe. But yeah, it's the... Does it start with an A? I can't remember. Yeah, just me, at this point, me and the Corvette C7 are battling at this point because, yeah, we're trying to see who's the quicker one at the end of the day. And then Magani's interfering a lot at it. It's like, oh, crud. Oh, God. But yeah, if you want to know another super fast grade 4, it's definitely the Magani. The Magani is like super fast. Cause then I kind of wonder if you could take that to versus grade 3. I wonder. So how good it is. I mean, look at the fuel efficiency. That fuel efficiency is crazy too. But yeah, at this point I had to go in though, because I was just burn fuel pretty much, which is not a good thing. Considering I'm kind of the only one that went in. Is there anyone else gonna be coming in? Because I hope so. At this point. Yeah, I got like 2 Corvette C7s, the Jaguar F-Type, Super Light, got the Genesis G70. Cause yeah, I will say Super Light is in Mercedes name. I will say that's why I call it Super Light. But yeah, then you got the. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's technically 2 Genesis. There's the Hyundai Genesis, and then there's the Genesis 7. And then you got the 86 GT for grade 4. Yeah, Tenza, that's what it's called. Good God, my brain was like so short on that one. Okay, so the M4 came in, which is kind of bad considering that even tells me even GT Sophie can't save that car. Good God, when I get to doing that car, when I see the opportunity, I am going to do that car. So I'm curious, like, how bad. But yeah, it just shocks me how good this GT Sophie kind of is in some ways and kind of not, because, like, is it really GT Sophie being that quick, or is it really just the artificial progressional band at the end of the day? Because I'll just say this, watch the Magani when it goes up the hill here. Because yeah, example, I'm going, let's see, about 120. How fast does that Magani go up that hill right there? That's what I want you to figure out at the end of the day. But yeah, there, we got the Mazda 10s just driving along here. Not surprised. But yeah, that's a first suck. Yeah, cause yeah, I would say once you pit, you're gonna stay in there for a good while. Cause I didn't really adjust the pit settings, so the pit settings you're just gonna sit there for a good minute. I probably should have upped it just a bit because yeah, they do have that upped during the Le Mans 700 WC, I will say, or just any of them. It's a lot quicker. Where if you take the real style, it takes that long. Just like, yeah. Then you got the Suzuki Swift Sport, very cool. Which, oh, that reminds me, I do need to mention another thing, and you probably, I don't know if you're irritated or not, but you will hear sound cues based on their face expressions on the GT Sophies too, I will say. In some ways, I get humored by it, and in other cases, I get a little irritated by it when they pass me, and then he's fucking smirk. It's like, you twats, you little twats. As then goes. In a funny way, also. But yeah, overall, when it comes to GT Sophie, it just feels like there's a progressional band still to it at the end of the day. It doesn't feel realism as I would think, and I don't know if that was their way to make a better AI, or that was their way to make a more humanized AI, but if they're trying to make a humanized AI, they kind of fail because they need to get rid of that progressional band. I'm sorry, that progressional band needs to go. I want straightforward racing. If you're going to have a progressional band, have it based on the lap counter. Like once it hits like a certain amount of laps, they get quicker and quicker and quicker. If you're going to do a progressional band, do it based on that. Otherwise, nay to that, because it's just kind of just stupid overall. But I will say I am still going to use GT Sophie because it is a bit more superior than a regular AI at the end of the day. It just is going to be tough for competition because the GT Sophie kind of shows me one up on how good they are in some cases. Well, I say good they are loosely. It's very artificially on that good they are, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. For the most part. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back up there as of now, and that yeah, oh yeah, there's 286 GTs. Good God, there's like 4 sets of 2s. I had less, but no, I think I have more on this. Good God, I switched it so many times too, and yet I doubt I didn't have copies. I still had copies at the end of the day. There's the Corvette C7's going in, which, Jesus, that's pretty good lap coverage, I gotta say, but not good enough to pass the 15 mark. So they need to. Oh wait, no, I take that back. They'll be on 9th laps, and yeah, that'd actually be good for them in that case. I take that back. So yeah, they don't have to pit another time, so that's kind of bad because then I know I have to pit like 2 times at least. Luckily, when you're this far back, for some reason, even with the Sophie AI, it kind of just drives chill about it, because then you just see they're only hitting like 100 miles per hour on the way up. It's just not that really quick compared to me, where I'm going like 120. But I bet you once I start getting up to higher here, he's going to start accelerating even more. Because you're going to see a point where he's going to hit 115 on a straight. Because yeah, he's still not going to beat me wholly on that straightaways, but he's going to beat me somewhat by the average of speed, I'll say. Yeah, he's basically the one point I need to chase after, which yeah, he's got a lot of fuel. He's sucking. Like I said, the Magane Trophy is probably the toughest grade 4 punt you could do for endurance racings, because they were just made in mind for that. Renault made these to do one thing, and it was specifically that reason. It just kind of sucks though that they never made a production model of it. But yeah, it is what it is. So. Now, in terms of what else to mention about life, if I have any goals in the future, I technically don't have much as of right now, except keep polishing what I do and keep organizing what I'm doing. Try to get better at it, and try to, make it look nicer, so to say. Otherwise, not much on my mind on that besides being as factual as it can be, because that's just how my brain works, sadly. Other than that, At the end of the day, though, I will say I do technically have fun doing these GT selfies at the end of the day, and I will say for the next tryouts and stuff, they will definitely be implemented for. My only problem about the GT selfie though is I came to realize too that they also can't use specific cars, so I can't use it for the AI battles at the end of the day until they have the cars that I have for chosen. Like example, the Honda M1, they can't choose the Honda M1 RS. They just cannot choose that for some reason. I have no idea why. They just can't choose it. So this GT selfie is kind of like out of date in some ways, and I don't know if there's gonna be a lot more advancements to that at the end of the day. I just know, like even on courses, you can only select certain courses. Like you can select the regular trail mountain, but if you select the reverse one, you can't have GT selfie for that for some reason. And to be honest, I'm not even sure why on that matter. I'm really not sure why. Because it feels like at the end of the day, the GT selfie gives a suggestion for the AI at the end of the day to proceed, because it feels like it's two AIs controlling at once. It's the AI path, and then the AI that chooses that you want to be more aggressive, or you want to get a little faster, or whatnot. Because yeah, you won't see him react at all until I get close to him. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it's kind of like a faster opponent that's being held by two AIs at the end of the day, which is the core AI is, and the selfie that helps predict what moves to make at the end of the day. That's what it kind of feels like. But I could be dead wrong. I'm not saying as factual about this, but that's what it feels like to me. While still providing a stupid rubber band progression that I still think needs to go at some point. Like, really bad. And I kind of hope so on that matter. Other than to say, if there's like anything Gran Turismo 7 could really do to advance that AI, I would say base it off the laps, of course. But make sure it's legitimate takes of the cars. It'll be very tough, which would be very tough, which I get that, but you know, I just think that would just be better than progression based off the player. I want to see the opponents just get quicker and quicker over time and such. Which I don't know if that's going to be the best move, for the worst part. But I just think if I'm going to get better, then they have to get better. So it's just kind of a weird saying. It's like, it's saying that I want to punch myself even more in the face at the end of it. It's a very tough saying at the end of it. Oh yeah, I also hope you like the vinyl, because yeah, I went out of my way to thoroughly vinyl the crap out of that car. So, but yeah, I've basically been chasing the Magani trophy at this point, and also pit at the same time he pitted, because yeah, I think that's the best time to pit, is once you basically pits, that's the time to pit. Because if you don't, you might lose the chance, because yeah, you don't want to be ahead, because he'll start running quicker, so to say, because of that progressional rubber band, once again. But yeah, I would note, when I say that lap progression, I mean based off of legitimate speeds of less than. Not greater, less than. So, at least a second back from a legitimate speed take, so to say. Or 0.5, at least. Not more, because if you do more, that's not healthy and that's not good. So, I just think it'd be better to do a progressional laps than progressional band based off the player. That's it. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if this Magani trophy does this fast or not. I should probably do a quick test just to see, for the most part. But yeah, it's just me versus this one at the end of the day, because yeah, the other ones, they don't compare. They do not compare very much. And that's the saddened part about this. Although I will say, if he wasn't the opponent, I probably basically win at this point. I basically would be watching the other ones. But because he's basically here though, he is basically my opponent to deal with. Which is good or bad for that matter. You get one way to protect your fun and another way not to fun. Yep, so now I go through this chicane. Probably still the one crappy thing about Trail Mountain is this stupid chicane. But yeah, I will say why Trail Mountain is like my favorite track. The only thing I don't like is that stupid chicane as well. That chicane is just not really motive to have, I'll say, because it kind of just stops all the presses at the end of it. That's one implied, and I kind of agree very much on that. Otherwise, like, the whole 90% of this course is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this course at all. This course is like everything I would ever want out of a racetrack. From the swirly corkscrew turns, the bank turns, to the regular turns, and then the trail turns, and then the trail on down. See how fast you go at the end of the day. It's crazy in a good way. And if there was a way to create in reality, that'd be amazing. But I'd be surprised though, because at the end of the day, this is just a fictional track from the ground up, utilizing a realization of the car's physics and speed. I say car's physics loosely, I don't know how well based that is, but you know. I assume very based. If that's what they imply, and hopefully apply at the end of it. But yeah, it's just me versus Megane at the end of the day, as the Megane is trying to outwit me at the end of the day, because yeah, that's what the GT7 thing does. It tries to outwit you. Which is, I don't know if realism or not for that matter. I assume very realism for the most part. But yeah, it could be wrong. But yeah, I decided to do this vinyl in this style because well, it's like I look at the GR ones and I gotta say I'm not very impressed with those GR vinyls. The GR vinyls are kind of bug ugly to me. So I instead did a little bit more. I would say more straight line about the race style at the end of the day. I'm not saying the GR ones are like wholly bad, but I gotta say they're not very impressive either. It's like you just took the big old GR and just slapped it to the side on the link into that prototype one there. Well, the next one just got jagged squares and a bunch of vinyl on the side. How is that designed at the end of the day? It's like you put a big old memorial wall on the side of your car. It's not that very creative for the most part. I'm not trying to, you know, diss, but that's just how I feel when I see that. It's like, okay, so you have this license, this license, this license, which I forgot to add Denso to this, by the way, so I'll try to add Denso somewhere on the car. But I forget that Denso is part of the group as well. It just kind of feels weird because, you know, Denso was like an off-ramp for Toyota that made not only special cars, but they also made a bunch of GT500 Supras way back. Then the iconic white and red one, which that white and red one is what probably eventually made Gazoo Racing in some ways. So it's on there, so I assume it kind of should be at the most part. Yeah, we just got the Megane here, which yeah, he's slowly losing it just a bit by bit. But I also gotta beware of my rear tires too, because yeah, the biggest problem about the SFR racing concept is that those rear tires love to burn out, I will say. Specifically the bottom right tire. The bottom right tire kind of gives a lot on this course. I will say I lowered it to 0.2 negative camber, so it's not that bad. Because yeah, in terms of what I had to do when it came to this car, besides 350 kilometers per hour transmission, which is like 369 if you want to know, and then the suspension part, I had to do the springs and not the ride height. The ride height was fine because the ride height is bouncy high for some reason. It's just the suspension part was very low, so I still say I still gotta up it, but otherwise it's kind of pretty good where it sits. It does freak out every now and then, but I'm not surprised because when you go up Trail Mountain really pushes into your car's frame at the end of it. Because then you go up and down, and considering how wobbled the car just gave there. So yeah, I think if I just add a bit more suspension, it might do it. Might just do it. Otherwise, I had to do a max tune, but lowered the power to 94, I believe, 94%, which gave 444 horsepower. and whatever torque is. I mostly look at the horsepower and torque at the end of the day. When it comes to stats, I will say. In case you must know, I don't really know the torque because I don't really focus on the torque. Because the torque is like the next thing you want to look at when it comes to cars, most of the case. But yeah, at this point, I basically got the Megane in the bag at the most part. Just trying to get to the victory as the looks like the daylight's trying to show back up. It seems and stuff. As I see some of the lights trying to not light up anymore. So whenever we get to see the Nessie monster beyond the lake there. But yeah, I will say there's a Loch Ness monster over there. You can see by picture mode. You have to zoom in pretty good to see it though. I don't know. And there's also a monkey on the tree too. That's during the crossway bit before the long bridge on down. So it's like. But basically, here's the final lap. And overall, in terms of GT Sophie opponents, it kind of feels basically the same as the regular AI. It's just the Megane one's even faster than what it was before. Because I really don't see much of a difference in the opponent difference. Because I figured the GT Sophie would, make some cars handle a lot better than what regular AIs do for driving, since they drive like crap. Oh, there's 2 super whites at this point. Good God, how many doubles? Good God. So then, like, yeah, 2 of that, 2 of... I just literally picked all the doubles. I'm starting to realize this. But yeah, that basically ends that for this special birthday episode. I really don't technically have a whole lot to say very much besides, oh, let's just press on forward as the saying goes. Yeah, here's to me being 32, now on to 33. I was about to say 34. Wow, what the heck happened between 33? That's the thing, guys. But until then, people, I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care, and for now, enjoy this little last bit of the race here. I must have won at this point. But until then, people, I'll see you guys all next time. You guys take care, and ciao. Toodles.